Hello there, and today I learned that penguins and polar bears do not live together. If you're new here, my name is James, and on this channel we talk about things I've learned. If it sounds like something you're interested in, please do give the video a like and subscribe as well. Now, media, film, TV, pictures, imagery would have you believe that penguins and polar bears live together in harmony or maybe attack each other, and penguins have got to defend themselves against these polar bears, ice age or whatever. But it turns out that polar bears and penguins don't actually live together in the wild, and there's a reason for that. They are several thousand miles apart. So let me explain. I learned that polar bears do not exist in Antarctica and penguins do not exist in the North Pole. Now that's incredible to think about, because whenever you think of snow and ice, you do think of the North Pole, you do think of South Pole, Antarctica, and you do think of penguins and you do think of polar bears, but you never realise that actually they don't live on the same continent. So a penguin's natural habitat, like an emperor penguin, the penguin that most people think of, with the white bellies and black and the wings, the whatever. Or they think of the little baby penguins, the little grey things, the cute, adorable things. And then when they think of polar bears, they think of these big, husky white bears. I don't think a polar bear's skin is actually white, is it? I think it's just the fur. But you don't think of a penguin as exclusively living on Antarctica, because look, I know they don't. I know that you get penguins in other places in the world, but they're different type of penguins. But like I said, whenever you think of a penguin, it's the emperor penguin that you think about. So those penguins live in Antarctica. They don't have to defend themselves from polar bears, because polar bears can never ever get to the South Pole, unless obviously the ocean freezes over and then they can walk, but that's a heck of a walk. We're talking, how far? 10, 12, 14,000 miles to walk from North Pole to South Pole. That's a trek. I mean, humans have done it, I guess, so I don't see why polar bears couldn't if the whole world froze over. But yeah, it was just weird to realise that polar bears and penguins do not live together naturally. Like, a penguin in its natural habitat has never seen a polar bear. A penguin has seen more humans than it ever will see a polar bear. And the same is for a polar bear in its natural habitat as well. It will never ever see a penguin unless you take a penguin to the North Pole, which is pretty stupid. Why would you do that? In fact, I would argue that a polar bear has seen more vehicles than it ever will a penguin. If anyone remembers the old Top Gear episode where Jeremy Clarkson and James May, they drove to the North Pole and Richard Hammond had some huskies pulling him, there's no doubt that penguins didn't see that. Penguins did not see that. Polar bears would have seen that. So, think about it. Polar bears have seen Clarkson, Hammond and May. Penguins have never seen them. It's insane to think about. And I didn't learn whether penguins exist in the Northern Hemisphere naturally. I don't think they do. I think penguins only exist naturally in the Southern Hemisphere. But that is just absolutely insane to think about. That all this time, your illusion of, penguins and polar bears, when you think of winter and you think of cold, you think of them, and they just don't live together naturally. Absolutely crazy. But hey, it's something I've learned today. So yeah, there'll be a little subscribe button just down below if you want to subscribe and see these other little random videos, that things I learn every single day. Because it'd be really cool if you did subscribe, because it helps the channel a lot, and you might learn something new as well, along with me. Hopefully, I will see you in one of my new videos though. Until I do, thanks for watching and take care.